So we have a sieve and a cup for using the dry plaster on. We've got a container that we're going to mix the plaster. We've got gloves. We have our trays set up for how many pieces we're going to make. And then we have selected our moulds. And we have spare gloves. We have little twist ties to make the holder on the back. We have a water cup and I've got inside the water here a plastic bag with the water. Everything that we wash the plaster in is going to be washed in this, so that at the end we can siphon the water out and take the plaster to the bin, because you don't want plaster going down your drains at all. So any watery plaster needs to go into the bin. We have a little scrubby brush to wash out our moulds. We've got to keep them nice and clean, and a little squirter here to pull out any excess water at the end in case something won't dry properly. Another little scrubber for cleaning, and then we have a tray to turn out the plaster and some knives to trim off if anything gets a bit out of control. So first thing we're going to do is wet these and give them a little bit of a dry and a little bit of a wash, because they're a bit dusty because they haven't been used for a while. So the mould has to be wet to start off with. However, at the same time as doing that, we're going to measure out how much water we need. So we're going to fill up the mould, and the instructions say 80% water, but what I actually do is have a few spare moulds for any excess at the end. And then we're going to pour that into our plaster box and set him up there. Give this one a bit of a wash up. Get any bits and pieces out that are stuck down in the crevices. And then we'll measure out our water for this. And then it doesn't have to be exact. Anything spare will go into the spare moulds at the end. I'll give it a wash of water. Make sure there's nothing stuck in the crevices. And into our plaster bucket. Plaster left over from last time. Try and keep them off your moulds, because your moulds will last longer if you keep them clean. And see, this one obviously was not washed up. Oh no, it's just different colour. Table. Actually, that's going to be my spare one. So if I have any plaster left at the end, I'm not going to put water for this one in there, because I want to be able to pour any extra plaster into that one, get a bonus mould. But I will do this one. This one's very popular. So you can see we've got out how much water we need in there. Balance that guy in between. Just want to make sure that's sturdy, that it's not gonna, when the plaster goes in, you're not gonna tip out. So it's just a matter of being careful with that. Okay, now we're going to go over here, and we have, just keep this fella dry, because if he gets wet I would suggest that if you're doing lots of moulds, making sure you've got your mask and your goggles on. I've only got a couple here, so I'm not going to breathe in too much plaster. So as far as this is concerned, you are filling it up to make a mould of plaster sitting over the top. So we'll have a look when I'm going to just pour it out of here, because it probably maybe 4 or 5 cups of plaster like this for the amount of moulds we've got there. But I'll just pour it out of this, and we put it through this guy to get out any clumps. Makes the mixture nice and I don't know what's the word, unclumpy. So we're just pouring in. Can you see inside the bucket there? And you'll notice, see how it's absorbing in? When you've got enough for your amount of water, it'll make a mound on the top. You can see the plaster that's actually flying off. That's why you should wear a mask as well. That was about 4 cups, I think, so far. Is that right? Maybe I will need that other bag open. See how it's starting to, it'll make a mound on top when you've got enough in there. I'm just grabbing the other bags of plaster. Oh, see how it's mounded up above there? That probably won't be enough, but I'll just put in one more because we've got that big mould in the middle rather than the little one. So, not a full cup. So I've actually got the plaster of Paris there today, but more effective choice is the Boral plaster, casting plaster from the building section. Was it Boral on the one I saw the other day? So you'll see there the mound. So what you want to do right now is put a timer on for 2 minutes, and that gives the plaster time to activate and work its magic. I don't know what it's called. So we might just pause. Can you stop that? And